Howdy folks, this is Tony here, and in this video I'm going to explain 3 lies that you probably believe about socialism. Now if you believe these lies, it's probably not your fault because your history teacher didn't have time to explain to you everything that's wrong with socialism, or your history teacher might be in favor of socialism, so they're trying to convince you of it. But I actually want to make sure that you know what you're talking about because I want you to be informed. So I'm going to explain to you what's wrong with socialism. The first lie that you probably believe is that socialism works. Now I'm going to give you a challenge right now. Name one socialist government in today's world that's actually a nice place to live. I'll wait. Oh, you want to try to pull Sweden out as an example? Well, guess what, folks? Sweden realized that socialism doesn't work, and they actually started bringing capitalism back into their economy, and that's why they started doing better economically, because they just realized that it doesn't work. A perfect example of this is a place like Venezuela, where they used socialism and their economy basically drove into the ground. So socialism doesn't actually work. It's not a good form of government. It's basically the government controlling every aspect of your life. You have no freedom, your taxes are sky high, and there's not enough resources to go around. And that's not a good type of government to have. The second myth that you probably believe about socialism is that it'll make you richer. And I only need to turn to the example of Venezuela, which became a socialist country, and show you how the poverty there is so bad that I read a news article that you have people breaking into the zoo to eat those animals just to get meat because they couldn't find any meat in the trash cans. So socialism doesn't actually make people richer. Now here's the thing. You have a lot of Americans who believe that the government just wants to make them richer, and that's why they tend to vote Democrat, because the Democrats' beliefs line up more with what the socialists believe. However, here's the thing. The only free cheese is in the mousetrap. For every little benefit that the government says they're going to give you, that's a freedom that they're taking away from you, and that's a new tax that they're adding to you. You look at a lot of these states that are trying to have a Green New Deal, they're raising taxes out the roof, and your electric bill is going to go sky high because they're trying to force you to use a more sustainable form of electricity or something like that. So every little benefit that the government claims to give you, they're going to tax you so much for that supposed benefit. Is that something you really want? For the government to say to you, sure, here's $5 today, but when you file taxes, you owe me $7. You should not want to live in that type of economy. Now, a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm never going to be rich, but I don't want to be poor. Maybe I can settle somewhere in the middle. Guess what? There is no middle class in socialism. Socialism has 2 classes. There are the people who actually run the country and their academic elites that they keep around them. And then other than that, there's the poor serfs who have no rights and who have nothing. So unless you have a silver spoon in your mouth and you're part of the ruling class, then you're going to pretty much have nothing. Now, the third lie that you probably believe about socialism is that it's good for the environment. Because people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who call themselves a socialist, and she wants to come forth with this environmental policy, socialism and the environment are actually mortal enemies. My example that I only need to bring up is the Chernobyl incident. What form of government led to such mismanagement of a nuclear power plant that it contaminated parts of Belarus and Ukraine? I don't think that was a capitalist environment, folks. That was a socialist environment where government overreach made the process so inefficient, made the process work so badly that they actually ended up mismanaging that power plant and ruining their environment. And don't even get me started on all the pollution that China has done. As much as these socialists and Democrats in America want to attack capitalism and say, oh, well, the oil company and all the greenhouse gases, none of that even close to compares to what happened in Chernobyl or what China's dumping in the environment every year. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ought to be ashamed of herself for trying to act like socialism and the environment work together. They don't, folks. It has nothing to do with each other. What form of government has the most poor people? Socialism. What form of government kills Christians the most? Socialism. What form of government has the most destruction throughout? Socialism. What form of government destroys the environment? Socialism. So I hope that you realize there is no good reason to ever be a socialist or ever vote Democrat in the United States of America ever again. I hope I've made you think. Have a great day.